Yes.
Bit of a spooky question today.
Okay.
Should Christians celebrate Halloween?
The Festival of the Dead.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, in essence.
I know they have the Day of the Dead in Mexico, but I didn't realize this was...
The festival. Basically, Halloween is all about...
pumpkins?
Yeah, it's all about the celebration of the dead and death and everything to do with... It's actually a very negative thing. And so you've asked a really, really good question here as to whether we should be associated with Halloween or not. So let me run through a little bit of the background of Halloween, where it comes from, what it symbolises, and all that kind of stuff. Of course, it refers to All Hallows Eve and dates back to the Celtic festival of Samhain. Now, I remember growing up as a young person here in Australia, particularly, I guess, down in Tasmania. We never had... Did you have Halloween?
Never.
Did you have Halloween when you were growing up down there? No.
Yeah.
We never had that. I was first introduced to Halloween when I went to the United States. Mm-hmm. And when I arrived there, of course, it's a major festival in the United States. I'm like, what's this festival here? By the time I came back, so that was 92, by the time I came back in 94, it had taken over Australia as well. And I'm like, what happened while I was away? We never used to have Halloween. Now we have Halloween. And the thing that kind of fascinates me about the whole process is you've got two festivals that are seen as distinctly American, because America really adopted this whole Halloween thing much more than the rest of the world. So it's seen as distinctly American, you know, with your jack-o'-lanterns and your big orange pumpkins and all this kind of stuff. Two big festivals that they have over there, we imported one and not the other. So the one that we imported was the festival of celebrating everything that is associated with death and evil and witchcraft and spiritualism and all these kind of things. The other one that they have is the festival of Thanksgiving. Now, the Festival of Thanksgiving is the greatest festival ever. I think every Australian should celebrate it, you know. We don't have to worry about whether we had Pilgrim Fathers who came to Australia or not or anything like that, and whether they survived the first winter to be able to celebrate Thanksgiving. Just have a day once a year where you get together with the whole family and eat mountains of food until you fall into a food coma and sit around the table and talk about all of the things that you are thankful for. It is so positive. Halloween is so negative. It is a focus on everything that is negative, and Thanksgiving is a focus on everything that is positive. So Halloween really goes back to a time when, you know, the Celts believed that, you know, this is the beginning of winter, the sun is dying, there is the possibility that the sun will die altogether. It was seen as a time where the wall between this world and the other world became very, very thin, and that spirit beings would cross over that wall. They would set an extra place at the dinner table for any relatives who had died. They would wear masks, and often masks of the dead, so that when the dead people turned up, they wouldn't realise that they'd crossed over into the new world, and they wouldn't, cause havoc or create problems.
They'd feel at home.
They would feel at home, all that kind of stuff. A very, very scary, spooky kind of time, and also a time to really, I guess, laugh in the face of death. You know, everyone realises their mortality and laughs in the face of death. And so this was something that was very closely resulted with spiritualism. Some of the things like your jack-o'-lantern and your bonfire that are associated with Halloween. The bonfire comes from the word bone fire. And this is where, in some cultures you'd take a human sacrifice, a young virgin, burn her on the bone fire. Then you'd take a turnip and hollow out the turnip, place a coal from the bone fire into the turnip. You'd go back to your home and you would light your winter fire with that coal, and thereby keep the spirit of that person in your home, through the whole winter. And some really, really dark and terrible things that are associated with Halloween. This is a celebration of all things that refer to spiritualism and Satanism, and as Christians, I think we can steer well clear of being associated with something as negative as this.
I was about to say, that sounds kind of satanic. Is it something immoral, do you reckon, to celebrate Halloween?
I think it's something that there's a passage in the Bible, Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 9. It says, "When you come into the land which the Lord your God gives you, you shall not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. There will not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire." That goes without saying. We live in a civilized society. "Or that uses divination." Of course, that's what Halloween was for. "Or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch." And of course, witch witchcraft and witch costumes are big at this particular time of year, or a charmer or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard or a necromancer, for all these things are an abomination unto the Lord your God. Because of these abominations the Lord your God does drive out those other nations from before you. Rather strong language, I think, that you have there in Scripture.
And it doesn't really go with the whole, focus on everything that is, good and true and
Exactly,
holy,
exactly, yeah. Jesus focuses on, Jesus tells us to focus on, everything that's good, holy and pure.
Well, thank you so much, Lyle, for answering that. If you have a question, you can message us here at Faith FM. Give us a call, 1-800-324-843, 1-800-FAITH-FM. We love hearing your questions and answering them for you.